Hi guys, it's Hayes. Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, hi, I'm Hayes. Welcome back. So in this video today, I'm gonna go over some stuff. Basically, learning and adulting is what all this episode 2 of Big Sister Advice is. Let's grab a drink, let's grab a snack, and let's just go ahead and dive right into it as I'm currently drinking some coffee right now. Okay, so I have a little bit of bullet points that I want to talk about, and these are kind of just the topics that I want to go to, and then I will dig deeper into certain other topics between planning out 20s, figuring out what it's like and what I want to share this year, new projects and launches. Obviously, there's a lot of business launches and other things, of course. House hunting, things I've learned about that whole process, everything med school, time management. Those are the main focuses of this video, but I do have some other things to address. So how does it feel not oversharing everything? So a lot of people think, if you guys still follow me on TikTok and my other platforms, that I still tend to overshare. Necessarily, I do and I don't. I share what I want to share, like especially about new projects or just posting to post, because I enjoy that. That is my creative outlook, as I haven't enjoyed editing in a very long time, due to just time and life and not wanting to find a balance. Because when I sit down to do a video, and I do a video, right, I sit down and edit a video for the whole video, and I just don't take breaks. And I feel like that really just put me into a burnout state that I don't want to create content. I had a conversation with someone that comes in regularly to my job, and I'm like, I'm going to create a burnout. We sat down and talked. It kind of sparked my interest again, stuff like that. So I kind of picked up my back interest into creating. But I want to create what I want to create. I don't necessarily want to put myself into a niche anymore. And I know I talked about this a lot, and I'm still doing it, because it's very difficult to get out of your comfort zone. My health I've been going through recent health scares, but it's not like anything I had before. I recently just got some labs done. They came back negative. So it's more or less of now still just finding out what's wrong. We also got rid of Vernon. He's with my uncle, and you guys will still see him in some videos, some stuff like that, because he's not fully out of my life. It's not like I don't see him a lot, it's just he don't live on my house anymore. Okay, so now we're gonna do the category of planning out my 20s. So my long term for the 20s is buying a house and owning my own car again. Like, not having my own car, like, in my name is, like, a whole thing, and it's, like, very, like, oh, I did it before, why can't I do it again? And it's just a lot of, like, why can't I do it the way that I did it before? Starting med school hours, and possibly already in med school, I have to get 500 hours of shadow work in med school for just my application process. It's so scary, but it's, like, you know, I want to be engaged or making money. Like, I just want to make a lot of money this year, or in the 20s, versus what I made this year. Hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, possibly more. Like, okay, so this is a whole thing of, like, I've been doing YouTube for so long, never hit 1,000 subs. The highest my channel ever gotten was like 400 to 300 something subscribers, and I'm so very grateful for that. But never hitting 1,000 subs, I feel like that'll be just a milestone for my 20s. I'm not saying I'm doing content for the money, but it would be nice, you know, to hit it. I hit it on TikTok. I was so happy. Now I want to hit it on YouTube, if that makes sense. The next major thing is babies. I want to have a kid, hopefully here soon, but not too soon. So I want to get the steps again tested to see if it's possible, how I want to do the path that I do, if I want to do IVF or what they recommend. I'm just seeing all of these things before I even start. Planning all baby things, the budget in the long run. That is a really big thing, because if the budget is not in a facility that I can afford, I'm not gonna do it. Or if my health insurance don't cover it, it's not gonna happen. So content, finding things that I enjoy doing versus things that I don't. Trying to implement documenting my life to help navigate their own. I feel like that'll be a very good one, because a lot of people come to channels finding answers. They just like to have solutions to their problems. And so with that being said, I figured out this kind of why my growth isn't necessarily growing as much like it is on TikTok, because a lot of people come to YouTube for problem solving or finding answers to their problems, stuff like that, and I just don't have it. And then understanding what I want to do my content, what age target I want to do my content now that I'm getting older. Do I still want to stay kind of like family friendly, or do I want to go to like young adults? Kind of just where I want to go. Next thing is new projects. I am working on book 2 of Shadow of the Sessions. I actually started writing it not too long ago. I wrote it on a trip. I started writing chapter 1 and I got through like 2 paragraphs and then I put down my laptop and I'm like, I just need a minute. Writing a children's book, which this is kind of going to be in the autobiography or biography of my grandfather, which is telling him his story through ducks, or through like a children's story, I guess you could say it. A poetry book I'm hoping to release. I'm kind of writing it right now on Wattpad, so once that's done, I might eventually publish it to the world. Ebooks. I want to start writing more ebooks and making them more available, especially like courses or stuff like that. Coffee beans. Okay, so all things Mystic Bloom. New coffee beans, new teas, new cups and coasters, shits and hoodies, and a new video editing styles for the content, and I feel like that will be like very fun to do. I don't know, I just feel like that is a whole major topic that I could talk about for hours, with like new launches, self-roastery, new documentaries, behind the scenes, which Mystic Blooms might have its own YouTube channel coming soon once I get into self-roastery, or like once I get into like self-packaging and stuff like that. I just don't have the money right now to self-package, so you guys will kind of see more like farmers market stuff, more stuff on that side behind the scenes. Courses and video editing bundles. So starting content creation and how to get the first 100 followers. This is gonna be a course. Video editing bundles, video color correction, and photo color correction. If you guys edit and you guys don't know how to color grade, I will have a collection and you just have to see which vibe will match your vibe. House hunting, looking what we need versus what we want. So there's a lot of what we want, right? And we don't always get what we want in life. And we also have to understand like taking a chance and just settling, because you might want all the space, but it's not in the price range and you don't want to live outside your means. You can always get another house, you can always get certain things, you guys can also just get all this part. But the hardest thing that I am learning is buying a house, especially when it's like your first house, is cleaning up your credit from dumb mistakes that you made as a kid, going through things and letting go of like old memories and trying to grow up and like trying to figure out like what you want to keep. Coping with change. If you have some type of mental disorder that you struggle coping with change, you might want to start in advance before you go through this whole process and decide that you're actually going to do it, because there's so much changing with getting a new place and getting like new furniture if you need it, or like new things. There's just a lot of new changes, and a lot of people think it's an easy process. It is not an easy process. Saving money in the goal with the budgets now. Yes, I feel like making goals of a budget and like planning it out and being more cautious with money. Like, still go out and have your fun, live your youth, but being more cautious with what you spend so you can have a savings to get a house is the most biggest thing, because having a down payment will help with the house no matter how much you have. So everything makes goals. So my goals for my MAC exam is studying content and passing. My goal is practice exam making a 60% or higher, because I know how hard the MAC exams are and it's not even funny. I've been using a lot of Khan Academy and stuff like that, just going over everything and plus what I'm doing. So my next goal for this year is looking into med school hours, so looking for doctor's offices, understanding my scheduling, printing paperwork, and calculating hours. There's a lot that goes into med school, and there's a lot of shadow work, because when you actually go to med school, it's you actually start in your residency. So you get to pick the location of where you want to do your like residency and do certain things, and it is what it is, but it's a little bit more complicated than what people think. And then where I want to do med school. So if you guys know, for the longest time I wanted to go to Hershey Med. Hershey's med contract is only 3 years or 2 years. They will only cover 2 years and then you pay the rest out of pocket. Versus the other med school program that I'm going through or want to go through, they will cover everything, but if you break that contract, you owe them money. So they will pay for you for them, but if you break a contract, you don't get it paid for. So there's that. And now time for time management. Giving myself breaks when I'm exhausted. Driving yourself to burnout, especially when you have a chronic illness, is so horrible because you never know just what's gonna hit. Putting 2 hours into hobbies, I think that's just generally a big goal of mine, is just putting 2 hours into everything so I don't feel so stressed out or burnt out. Finding new hobbies. I swear to God, I was trying to learn how to crochet because I thought it would be fun, and I legitimately just got upset. And I think I need to find more hobbies that I would enjoy. Like, I'm trying to get into diamond art. I'm trying to get into certain things that I think that I would enjoy. But it's a little bit difficult sometimes. Reading for 40 minutes or more. I really enjoy reading. If you guys don't know, I'm a huge bookworm. I have so many books that I have to get through right now. And then I also have books on my phone through Wattpad. I just enjoy reading. I don't know. There's something about reading that's just so calming for me. And then studying, I want to look into more certifications, and I want to look into so much other things that I could just get certified and deal with new things, because everyone just thinks that it's an easy process to deal and cope when it's really not that easy. However, it's really fun sometimes, just feeling and wanting to feel. It gets stressful some days, but it's all about just understanding what you want in life. I also want to do reading more about mental health and certain other disease and illnesses. And then my last one is doing more medical research. I swear to you, being a med student, I will never realize of how much times I enjoy actually doing medical research. Like, I'm going to submit some research papers for school, hopefully. My goal is to submit so much medical research papers into med school just to get my portfolio going. And the whole med portfolio is, I feel like that's what's stressing me out the most. It's just the whole portfolio. Like, everyone's like, do you know what it's like making a med portfolio? No, because I haven't had to do it. Like, I was starting to learn how to do it. I was learning how to do it when I went to Penn State, but then when I dropped out, like, I don't know how to do it anymore. And everyone's just so judgmental about it. And I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with you guys? But, however, it's okay because we're just vibing and chilling. Like, a lot of times people are just thinking that you're in a rush in life. And I'm now realizing I'm only 20. I'm about to be 20. I'm only 20. I don't need to be rushing. I don't need to be all this stressed out about, like, oh, I'm not going to get anywhere. When in reality, I'm probably going to get everywhere. I just need time to bloom. And I feel like that's just the hardest part to learn, is understanding that you need the time to grow and bloom and to develop. Because we're all human and we go through these dumb mistakes and we make dumb mistakes. That's just how it is. Toodles.